Before we get in the video, I want you guys to know I'll be adding some new perks for my memberships on YouTube. If you guys click the link below, you guys can become a member. If you guys do, you guys get exclusive emails, which I'll be updating on very, very soon. Some new emails, I'm going to try to change them at least every month. But also, you guys get free wallpapers from mobile, PC, and tablet. This one right here, it'll be a mobile one. And yeah, hope you guys like it. And I'll see you guys. Well, enjoy the video. Why Elden Ring's simple strategy that made billions. Well, I'll fix this goddamn art right here.
In the world of gaming giants, everyone gets criticized, especially when breaking the rules. Elden Ring did just that. No hand-holding, brutally difficult, and quiet on the marketing front. And yet, it sold millions of copies and outsmarted the industry on many fronts. An unusual success, according to some top studio developers.
The fact that Elden Ring scored 97 Merit score is proof that reviewers don't give a flaming poop about gaming UX. My life is a lie. I'm gonna tell you guys, another thing that people don't care about as much anymore, graphics. I'm telling you, like not as much. Like, don't get me wrong, don't get to like the Switch graphics, like not that bad. But it doesn't, like, if you look at Elden Ring, it's not the greatest graphics artwork. Art style, yes. But like the graphics is not the like highest level of graphics you can get within the game, but it's still a phenomenal game. Like, a lot of people don't really care for graphics as much anymore, in my opinion.
Developers. But beyond its masterstroke of a game, Elden Ring's marketing was just as masterful. Instead of loud campaigns, they let the game speak for itself, which had fans calling it many things. But what might have seemed like poor marketing was actually a deliberate three-part strategy designed by an unseen architect who knew that sometimes the best noise is no noise at all. As a marketer myself, I'll uncover the strategy and the mastermind behind it. Guys, this game needs no introduction. Maybe that's what their marketing team figured when launching the game with seemingly little fanfare. But to really understand their unusual marketing, we first got to understand their game philosophy. Now, while the tarnished ones among you know all about this game, stay tuned. And for the untarnished ones among you, let me give you a really quick primer, because all you need to know is the following. Crafted by Souls-like innovator Miyazaki and enriched with lore by Mr. Martin, this so-called niche game blasted past sales of so-called AAA games, became an instant bestseller, was the most tweeted about game, YouTube's biggest game launch ever, and with uncountable accolades and sky-high scores, it stands unrivaled as the most awarded video game of all times. Do I need to say more? Yes, I do, because we still have 30 minutes left, and there's still one more thing that you gotta know. While its acclaim is record-setting, its brutal difficulty in a marker-free world where dying is expected makes it a true outlier. You're tossed into a vast Gothic world on a quest to assemble the Elden Ring and become Elden Lord. But that's a quest marked by over 9 billion player death. And when you find yourself dying and grinding 6 hours on an optional boss, nailing down near-perfect precision patterns, you'll start to wonder, how does a so-called niche game with no hand-holding and daring difficulty become a beacon of success?
Yo! Try saying that.
Well, it's easy.
People did complain about the DLC being too hard, but I'm like, bro, it's Elden Ring. Like, what do you expect?
Because in today's industry cluttered with microtransactions, quest marker-flooded open worlds, and hand-holding in games that are single-player, Elden Ring does the exact opposite. It doesn't hold your hand, doesn't tell what's in the distance, no. It leaves you in the dark, a realm of challenge, mystery, and discovery. And that's exactly how they did their marketing. Low-key, no hype, and keeping everybody guessing. But pulling this off was no walk in the lands between. The challenge? Global expansion and broader appeal for a franchise that's typically made for hardcore gamers. So what do? You switch publishers to one that is a good fit for Elden Ring, does all overseas marketing, and hires a wizard known for boosting big-name brands. And that's what happened. While FromSoft handled marketing in Japan, Bandai Namco took care of the rest. But with a game shrouded in mystery, how do you introduce it to a detail-hungry world without revealing too much? You just trust your publisher, or in this case, the unseen architect. In an industry hooked on massive AAA budgets and flashy marketing, Bamco focused on their own expertise. Know thy fans. Instead of investing millions into promotion, they bet on a small but secure success within their core fan base. After all, FromSoft already had a legion of die-hard.
Damn. People are still waiting for another Bloodborne. I do want to play it. I only played the beginning. Like a long time ago. I feel like I could get the PS4 version, right, guys? And play on the PS5. I think so. What I'm thinking about doing is playing Demon Souls. I already have it. I bought it a long time ago, and they're playing. But I'm playing the Demon Souls, Bloodborne, hopefully, and then Elden Ring. Maybe I'll go by that.
Fans from previous releases. It's a strategy not about chasing every player out there, but satisfying the right ones. Yeah. Manage expectations, and the rest
like your
will
core
come.
fan base.
Bandai Namco's recipe for success. But how do you begin when traditional marketing dictates a funnel from awareness to consideration to conversion? Well, our unseen architect here reshaped the entire playbook. Delete consideration, another word for constant marketing, and bring in silence, almost like the calm before the storm. And just to ditch the corporate vibe here, let's call these stages awakening, sustenance, and ascension. The awakening stage. When players first enter the world of Elden Ring, they are awakened into a vast, mysterious realm that's new, yet unknown, with only minimal context. And that's mirrored in their marketing too. It awakens your curiosity by revealing just enough to intrigue and spark a discussion. It's the start of a journey marked by something new, yet unknown. And this journey starts here. Well, actually here, but let's forget the leaks for now, in which a friend from the inside described a Dark Soul remaster being in the works written by a big-name man. So, leaks aside, because the official marketing kicked off here, at E3 with FromSoft's announcement trailer.
That's
no
crazy,
gameplay,
that long
just
ago.
epic narration, a big-name man, and beautiful CGI.
People were waiting for this too.
Remember, the mission is to appeal to a wider audience without revealing too much. So this trailer was actually their first trailer with a more hopeful tone, rather than their typical depressing one.
I will say this, I like trailers, I like marketing where it doesn't give you too much. Like, you know how like a lot of trailers, for some reason, they feel like they gotta tell you almost like half of the story or more? Like, what are you doing?
Nevertheless, it was also a trailer shrouded in as much secrecy as promise. All that marketing did was giving you a sense of speculation. And boy, did the community speculate. As the Twitter marketing machine kicked off, comments about its secrecy popped up. Questions lingered without answers. Subreddit Elden Ring was created. Art, fake lore, and memes emerged from fans eager to fill the void with their own imagination. But above all, some even begged for an easy mode, as if they didn't know better from previous Souls games. Because if one thing Miyazaki's good at, it's at saying no. More marketing? No. Easy mode? No. Why? Because brand identity. Souls games are tough. That's their trademark. When everyone has to deal with the same Herculean tasks, it does foster a shared culture. In marketing, being known for something specific is crucial, and so is staying. Well,
you know what also people could do? If they want an easy mode for these Souls games, just wait until the meta comes out, and then you can try that, in my opinion. Like, I believe Asmongold did a cheese one with like a shield version of like kind of character. And that was like it could like tank a lot of damage from the enemies and stuff. So if they want an easy mode, just wait for more of the meta comes out, and then you can get a more easy mode like for Soul like. You could do that, and that's what a lot of people could do instead of complaining about like, come on, have an easy mode version of this. Like no, because again, like you said, that's their brand. Hard mode is their brand.
Brand. FromSoft is resilient in perfecting their own game, and that's why no easy mode and only some cryptic tweets and concept art. And that was all. A strategic move to not only heighten the initial buzz, but to also match the game's ethos of facing the unknown. Show, don't tell, is what set the tone for what was yet to come. The sustenance stage. So, our unseen architect here got your attention. You're an awakened one. Now what? Traditionally, game studios now keep beating the marketing drum to maintain hype through collaborations, teasers, community engagements, showcases. But Elden Ring's drum fell silent for 2 years. I call it the sustenance stage, because in Elden Ring, After you've been exposed to the lands between, you must sustain yourself through self-directed exploration. No guidance, only lore in measured doses. And their marketing mirrors this. Again, instead of continuous updates, they kept their cool. No overload.
I remember
no
people were like, bro,
Neither
when is
on
Elden
Twitter,
Ring? I want some
Tokyo
new
Game
stuff.
Show or Gamescom. No Elden Ring lineup whatsoever. Instead, endless threads that either question the strategy, the marketing team, or the company as a whole. Granted, you might think that aiming for global reach would mean showing up at least at major regional events, but our unseen architect remained determined to guard the mystery with a stoic resolve. So it wasn't because of COVID or a delayed release date, no. It was all calculated, because our unseen architect understood the law of diminishing returns. Too much hype dulls the excitement. Deathloop, for instance, overhyped and underinformed so much that threads emerged to complain about their over-the-top marketing. And what does...
My beef is the marketing. Oh, was Deathloop a good game? I have it. I got it for free. I think they give it away for Epic for free at one point. Yeah, I think that's the problem with some marketing too. It's like if they overhype a game or a product and the product comes out bad, like for example, Cyberpunk 2077, like they hyped that game so freaking hard. And when it came out, it was garbage, right? The first version. Yeah, I think that's where like a marketing thing could really backfire. So I think they were very smart to doing that. Like they were excited for the game, but they weren't like over hyping it.
What does Miyazaki think? Well, he's big on imagination. His games drop clues and item descriptions so you can piece together the narrative in your own way. Just like when he was a kid and pieced together English fantasy books he barely understood. That power of imagination is important to me, he said, and it's something he loves to see unfold not only in his games, but in the marketing too. No wonder they didn't milk the heck out of the big-name man. His role was modest after all. They could have hyped his involvement to attract a wider audience, yet they didn't even use their ultimate game of all time award for Dark Souls to pitch Elden Ring as its successor. No, they rather played it safe to avoid the risk of potential backlash.
It's like a new series.
Didn't think the same way. They had their own imagination, headlines speculating on everything from a cancelled game to the lack of news. On Reddit, it went wild, with memes, fake lore, and even an impressive timeline of the entire subreddit. And when Phil Spencer claimed to have played it, the subreddit went bananas. Some say the real marketing magic happened here, but in reality, it was more of an echo chamber of the most dedicated fans. People started counting days, hours, and minutes, and on Twitter, all they got was a mere "thank you for your support" post. And then, the leak. Internal gameplay footage circulating online that was allegedly meant for investors. It was blurry and short from a weird angle, but fans didn't have to wait much longer anyways, because 2 months later, it finally arrived.
Without further ado, please sit back and enjoy this truly spectacular world premiere. It is finally time.
Elden Ring. It's got to be Elden Ring. It's got to be Elden Ring.
And Elden Ring it was. The first gameplay trailer, 2 years after announce and 8 months before release. It's typical now for marketing strategy to start releasing a more steady stream of information leading up to the game's launch. And here, our unseen architect went back to the normal traditional marketing. Actually, Red Dead Redemption 2 did the very same exact thing. Announce release, then do nothing for years until 1 month before launch. And instead of the usual promotions, Rockstar opted for a campaign of painting the world red, from Thailand to Tokyo, Melbourne, and Hollywood. Now, after Elden Ring's first gameplay trailer, which yet again provoked more questions than answers, the game won a few more awards at Gamescom and then announced a closed network test, with some lucky as well as some unlucky fans.
Damn, no.
And for the rest of the year, Elden Ring continued winning award after award, released a story trailer, and ended the year with another
That's gonna be my first introduction to the Dark Souls game.
New year, new post.
The only Dark Souls games I played was a little bit Bloodborne, and then also Dark Souls 3 a little bit, and I got like up to like the third or fourth boss, and I didn't quit. I just like I didn't like really got into gaming like that for a while. Like I recently, like, even though I'm older now, but it's like I really got into more gaming, like to really start grinding the characters, especially with like story-based games and stuff. Like I did with like Final Fantasy Rebirth. Like I finished the whole thing. Except for one mission because it was a bug. It was a PS5 bug. It was just like the biker one, whatever. But yeah, it's like but yeah, I'm gonna start my journey with Demon Souls on PS5. I already have it. I've been having it for a while. And I'm thinking about doing Bloodborne. If you can still get it, I think you can still get it on the PS4 version, play on the PS5. And then after that, I'll do Elden Ring. Just so I can like learn the game again. Because I remember playing God of War in hard mode. I couldn't beat the hard mode of Valhalla for some reason. At that time, my hand was getting back. By the way, guys, because my hand's not 100% still with like reaction time. So that's the thing I got. That's why I want to practice a lot. That's why winning these games. So I don't know if I'll be able to beat it, but I'll look again. I just want to play it. I want to have fun. And then if there's some like meta that I can find, then I'll probably use some of it or something. I don't know. We'll see how I play it first. I remember I was a bit younger and I was like tired of dying all the time and getting reset that was like back around 2009. Oh yeah, I can see that.
It's 2 months to go. In the game, you approach the end game and face the most challenging fights. Similarly, the final phase of the marketing ramps up with more updates and more media coverage. Now it's time to beat the international marketing drum like never before. Suddenly, Elden Ring was everywhere. It showed up on Red Bull's Twitter and even at the UFC event in Houston, Texas, as a major sponsor.
UFC.
Hidetaka Miyazaki and George R.R. Martin, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam on February 25th.
London too was soaked in Elden Ring lore. Bandai Namco UK worked with a single image to spread the word. Whether it was on billboards, buses, the London Underground, or old telephone booths, the dragon spread the lore, all under the mission of reaching a wider audience. On Twitter, a fan made Mr. Bean became the best Valentine's gift ever, system requirements were finally released, and then the long-desired countdown. 3 more days to go. And then 2. And then 1. And then, after all the hollowing and suffering of relentless speculating, the official launch of Elden Ring. Now, the marketing machinery was in full blast. Live-action trailer number 1, live-action trailer number 2. The game was a bestseller and sold 12 million copies in its first 2 weeks, including 1 million in Japan.
That's crazy.
This game became FromSoft's best-selling and certainly fastest-selling game
I remember
ever.
I was a bit young.
And at the pinnacle moment, just as Elden Ring launched in all its glory, our unseen architect accomplished his mission. Our mystery man keeps a low profile even on LinkedIn, but I got you covered. Our mastermind is none other but Mr. Lin Leng, Senior Director of Marketing at Bandai Namco. Before joining the ranks at Bandai Namco, Lin honed his marketing magic at Disney, NCSoft, Warner Brothers, Blizzard, and is now weaving strategies over at Netflix. In an employee interview on Bamco's website,
Netflix,
he shares that, as brand manager, I'm responsible for the overall marketing strategy of the game. Tasked to expand the target audience, the challenge for him was to reveal enough info to excite and surprise, but without revealing too much as to spoil the playing experience.
Best way of doing it,
yes,
honestly.
Our unseen architect and his team were all about being super selective with what to show and when. Timing is everything in marketing, especially today in a culture of oversharing. Playing hard to get is actually really clever rarity. But that doesn't mean that every game studio now can pull that off. No, you gotta have at least 3 things going for you. A track record of successful games, a strong brand, and a passionate fan base. But above all, it's about staying true to your craft. Because in today's gaming industry, where studios often pivot to please shareholders, FromSoft stands.
True, like Mortal Kombat, like the weirdest thing, like it sucked about Mortal Kombat Season 1 with DLC, they added Homelander and they also added Ultraman. Not an Ultraman. What's the guy from Invisible? I forgot. Omni-Man. That was the most dumbest thing ever, but the reason why they had to do it is because the Invisible show came out for Season 2, and then Homelander, the recent season for The Boys, came out, and so that's the reason why they added both of them, even though they're very similar characters. That was the weirdest thing about Season 1 of Mortal Kombat. So hopefully Season 2 could be better, especially with like better selective like guest characters, where like they could just do what they want. But it sucks that Mortal Kombat is very heavily with like WB, and they have a lot of control over it instead of giving the freedom to add characters they want to add and better fitting characters, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, Homelander and Omni-Man are good fitting, but in the same time of Season 1, it was bad. It was not that great, especially for marketing purposes, in my opinion.
Stands firm. In fact, they even have no idea why it's selling so well and won't let sales change how it makes games. In an interview, Elden Ring producer Kitao-san affirms that they won't start aiming for new big hits like Elden Ring. Our stance of creating games we think are fun and worthwhile will not be changing. And there you have it. Elden Ring, after 5 years of craftsmanship, is not just a game, but a testament to what really happens when a studio holds true to its vision. More sales and more money does not guarantee success.
True.
In fact, if one thing kills a business, it's chasing constant growth. As paradoxical as it might sound, but chasing...
That is very, very effing true, because there's always a market cap. So if there is like, where it's like you hit the ceiling to a certain market, that's when if you try and go even beyond that, that's when you start failing as a company, as a brand, as a game. Like here's an example, like what a lot of people talk about is the live service games, right? There is a market cap on that already. There's already games already take a big chunk of that already, like League of Legends, Fortnite, Valorant, like those type of games, right? Call of Duty, you name it. Those live service games, they're already like people already dedicated so much time into it, like Genshin Impact or Dokai or all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like they're already like dedicated to those games for so many hours, so much time. They're not gonna give it up because like, bro, I put so much money and time on this game. I'm not giving it up for a new game. You really, really have to make it really worth it for me to jump ship to another game. Because majority of general public are only going to play like 1 or 2 service-like games like full time, or like majority of the time for the most part, right? If they play those type of games. And there's a market cap on that. And so when the companies like WB being dumbasses, sorry for saying that, but like they're trying to do a lot more live service games like they did with Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad, it was a complete failure because they're very repetitive. They're not thought out really well. And they're all like, they don't fit the live service genre. Like they should just stick with story-based games. Like if I promise you guys, if Suicide Squad came out as a story-based game by Rocksteady, they really focus on individual characters, special abilities, like Guardians of the Galaxy. It was like I heard it was a really good game. I saw a lot of gameplay about it, and like each character has their own abilities. It would have been a very, very, very successful game. It would probably beat the Arkham series records or something like that. Who knows? But because again, it had like other cameo characters from like Superman and the Flash and Green Lantern, and you name it, right? So that's what it sucked about the Suicide Squad. Is like they literally made a lifeless game. It was a very pathetic game because they just made it into a looter shooter type game. It was very pathetic. And that's what really, really sucks, man. It really does suck. It had a lot of potential and they ruined it for light service. And because there's a big market cap too. Not just because the game is not as fun, but like there's already so many live service games out there. It's like, man, not everybody has unlimited amount of money, unlimited amount of time to play these live service. I don't play live service as much anymore because I rather just play a story-based game, move on. But it's just like Elden Ring. It's just a story-based game and there's an ending and you move on. They added DLC recently, more content to it, and people are having fun with it and it made a lot of money, right? And so I don't understand why companies just not stick with that strategy still. I don't know.
Growth for the sake of growth doesn't grow anything. It kills it.
Yep.
But again, getting killed in Elden Ring at least has a way deeper meaning. So in light of the new Elden Ring DLC, here's to the thrill of the fight and the stories we'll forge, with or without our unseen architect. Happy, die.
Good video. But yeah, Force Out doesn't essentially market their game because they're busy spending resources on actual important parts of the game. That's another thing that I do. That's the thing I didn't think about. Yeah, that's probably true. It's like instead of wasting a lot of money on marketing, let's put that money into the actual game. Have to make millions. Microtransactions, slow down player progression. Force Out, just make good games. Know the fans. It's a strategy not to chase every player out there, but stay satisfied the right ones. That's gorgeously said. That yeah. I don't know why my mind went over that, but yeah, that's actually true too as well. Like instead of trying to go for everybody, just go for a specific genre of people and the right people. Because again, live service, they're trying to go for everybody they can. It's very dumb. Makes sales like no other games in 2022. Doesn't care about the money. Continues to mind their own business. It's only interested in making quality games they love. Absolutely giga chat of a company. Make a game enjoyable, game that people will remember for years to come. They pull it out like they won by doing nothing. Just let the work show everyone what they're about. Pretty much like word of mouth that also works too as well. The solid market was so crazy. I never heard of it prior of the release until a friend of mine mentioned it, and the game changed my life. Everyone gets criticized. Stands in front of Ubisoft HQ. Yeah, I mean, man, like it's just so dumb. Like what a lot of these companies are doing, like especially Microsoft. Man, they're doing so many dumb decisions at Microsoft. They did make a comeback with like the recent games, but even their recent games, like when they really like, there a lot of people were hyped up about their list of games they came out with, but when they really looked into the games, they're like, wait, this does not look cool, or why did you change too much of this? Like Fable 3, they're like, what is this? Like the graphics of it, and then the violence of that game, they're like, it's died down a lot. They're like, yeah, what is this? Um, and they released like, oh man, like Hi-Fi Rush. They released that company there too, which they did a phenomenal thing for the company, and they released that. It's like I don't know, man. I don't know what Microsoft's doing, dude. It's very sad, honestly. But yeah, like I said, like live service is not the best way to go. It's got to go like the right people, the right market, and stop trying to be what everybody else is doing. Right? Rocksteady should have stick with what they like. Rocksteady should have agreed with WB, but like, no, we're doing what we want to do. We know what's successful. We got this. Just give us the property rights. I mean, the rights to these characters, and we got this. They shouldn't be like, yeah, let's do live service. I will always hate them for that. And then I don't hate Rocksteady, but like I hate WB right now with what they're doing with the Arkham series. They're releasing a VR game of Arkham. Hopefully it's successful, so we could get a story-based game for the console version. Maybe they'll eventually make a console version of it. I don't know, but oh my god, they should have done like the Resident Evil version instead. Make a console version for Resident Evil, and then they made a VR version for Resident Evil. They should have done that instead, but that's just me. But yeah, good video.